So Greg, we've had quite a few investor questions come in about Air New Zealand. As you know, it's our most popular stock. So I'd quite like now to sort of reasonably rapid fire put those to you. The first one is, could you please not pay dividends because your liabilities are important?
I think it's important that we do pay dividends at the moment. It's part of our capital management policy and framework. And, if it makes sense, the board will make that decision, and they made that recently. So we're happy with the position we've got on that.
Another one here says, why is Air New Zealand underperforming compared to other airlines in the world?
Because you're operating in an environment which is different to other airlines. So, when I go to Australia, I don't see the same issues around their domestic economy that we have in New Zealand. For example, when I go to Australia and I have a look at Virgin and Qantas, they're not running Trent 1000 engines and Pratt & Whitney 1100 engines, so they haven't got components of their fleet like we have sitting on the ground. So it's very difficult to compare apples with apples when there are different situations occurring. Can
you make fares cheaper?
You can always make fares cheaper. What you have to do is balance that with a return for shareholders. We're certainly working on doing everything we can to keep our costs down and to be more productive so that fares are reasonable for people.
Another one here. Why have you made it so hard to get status points? It's a deterrent for many.
Look, like anyone, you run your loyalty programs and that comes with a cost and a benefit. And as I said, we are reasonably happy with how we're looking at the moment with that. What I would say is that 2 weeks ago, we re-platformed our entire loyalty system. That system was put in place in 1989. Oh, wow. We have now transferred successfully 4.6 million Airpoints members over. That's going to give us an opportunity to tweak and refine and make some adjustments to that system, because we now have a state-of-the-art system, which sort of goes into my part about why should you have some confidence in Air New Zealand? Because we're getting on and doing a whole bunch of these things and doing them well.
How have people or consumers, rather than business, been coping with the economy, with airfares being what they are and the like? Are people flying less? Are they downsizing to what they would normally do? What are you seeing in consumer trends?
Look, I think it's playing out probably in a very common sense type of way. I think there are a group of people, a reasonably small group, where the economy doesn't have a lot of impact on them at all. They're reasonably high net worth, and when I'm out at the airport and helping the team do check-in, there are plenty of people out there jumping on planes and flying premium economy and business class and heading off to see the America's Cup or off to the Olympics or taking their holidays, and that's happening. I think there's another group of people who are saying, well, look, maybe I was going over to Europe, but I'll just go to Australia. So I pulled back. I'm still going, but I've travelled. Then there's a group of people who say, well, I was going overseas, but I'll stay at home, but I'll still travel. I think when you get to people who are finding it pretty tough, the mortgage has gone up by $1,000 a month. Maybe someone in the house, has lost their job. I don't think they're travelling, and we've seen that with some of the numbers come down. So this thing plays its way, if you like, through this line. You don't stop completely, but it comes off a bit. Contrast that with last year, financial year, where you were still seeing a bit of revenge travel, weren't you?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I've been locked up for 2.5 years. I'd saved a bit of money. I'm out there now. The economy was still reasonably robust.
Investing involves risk. You might lose the money you start with. We recommend talking to a licensed financial advisor. We also recommend reading product disclosure documents before deciding to invest. Everything you're about to see and hear is current at the time of recording.